There is no such thing as a while-in-use cover for a plug-in quad receptacle. Ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, protection should suffice. The 2020 National Electrical Code, or NEC, requires GFCI protection for all 125-volt, single-phase, 15 and 20 ampere receptacles installed in outdoor locations. This includes receptacles installed in weatherproof enclosures, such as an in-ground junction box, or J-box. The city's parties and holiday lighting should be plugged into a GFCI protected receptacle. This will provide adequate protection against electrical shock. It is important to understand what a GFCI does and how it works. A GFCI is a fast-acting circuit breaker designed to shut off electric power in the event of a ground fault. A ground fault occurs when electrical current flows outside of its intended path, potentially through a person's body to ground. This can happen if there is damage to appliance wiring, wet conditions, or other unforeseen circumstances. The GFCI constantly monitors the current flowing in the hot and neutral wires of a circuit. Under normal conditions, the current flowing through these wires should be equal. However, if a ground fault occurs, some of the current will flow through an unintended path to ground, creating an imbalance between the hot and neutral wires. The GFCI detects this imbalance and quickly trips the circuit, cutting off the flow of electricity. This happens very quickly, typically in a fraction of a second, which is fast enough to prevent serious injury or death. GFCI protection is essential in areas where there is a higher risk of electrical shock, such as outdoor locations, bathrooms, kitchens, and laundry rooms. These areas are more likely to have wet conditions or contact with grounded objects, increasing the risk of a ground fault. GFCI receptacles are easily identifiable by the presence of test and reset buttons on the face of the receptacle. These buttons allow you to periodically test the GFCI to ensure that it is functioning properly. To test a GFCI receptacle, simply press the test button. This should cause the receptacle to trip, cutting off power to any devices plugged into it. To restore power, press the reset button. It is recommended to test GFCI receptacles monthly to ensure they are working correctly. In addition to GFCI receptacles, GFCI circuit breakers can also be used to provide GFCI protection to an entire circuit. These breakers are installed in the electrical panel and provide the same level of protection as GFCI receptacles. GFCI circuit breakers are often used to protect multiple receptacles or hardwired appliances on a single circuit. When selecting a GFCI device, it is important to choose one that is rated for the appropriate voltage and amperage of the circuit. GFCI receptacles are typically rated for 125 volts and 15 or 20 amperes. GFCI circuit breakers are available in a variety of voltage and amperage ratings. It is also important to ensure that the GFCI device is listed by a recognized testing laboratory, such as Underwriters Laboratories, or AL. This listing indicates that the device has been tested and meets safety standards. The NEC provides specific requirements for the installation of GFCI protection. Firstly, all 125-volt single-phase, 15 and 20 ampere receptacles installed in outdoor locations must be GFCI protected. Secondly, GFCI protection is required for receptacles installed in bathrooms, kitchens, and laundry rooms. Thirdly, GFCI protection is required for receptacles located within 6 feet of a sink shower or tub. Fourthly, GFCI protection is required for receptacles that supply power to dishwashers, washing machines, and other appliances that are likely to be used in wet locations. Fifthly, GFCI protection is required for receptacles that supply power to cord and plug-connected equipment used outdoors. Sixthly, GFCI protection is required for receptacles that supply power to electric, snow melting and de-icing equipment. Seventhly, GFCI protection is required for receptacles that supply power to electric vehicle charging equipment. Eighthly, GFCI protection is required for receptacles that supply power to pool pumps and other pool equipment. Ninthly, GFCI protection is required for receptacles that supply power to hot tubs and spas. Tenthly, GFCI protection is required for receptacles that supply power to fountains and other water features. It is important to note that GFCI protection is not a substitute for proper grounding. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, which helps to prevent electrical shock and fire hazards. All electrical circuits should be properly grounded according to the requirements of the NEC. In addition to GFCI protection and grounding, it is important to follow other safety precautions when working with electricity. Always turn off the power to a circuit before working on it. Use insulated tools and wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as gloves and eye protection. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician. Electricity can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to prevent injury or death. When installing outdoor receptacles, it is important to use weatherproof enclosures to protect the receptacles from the elements. These enclosures are designed to prevent water and other contaminants from entering the receptacle box, which can cause corrosion and electrical hazards. Weatherproof enclosures are available in a variety of materials, such as metal and plastic. The type of enclosure you choose will depend on the specific application and the environmental conditions. It is also important to use weatherproof covers for outdoor receptacles. These covers protect the receptacle openings from rain, snow, and other debris. Weatherproof covers are available in a variety of styles, including self-closing covers and while-in-use covers. Self-closing covers automatically close when the receptacle is not in use, while-in-use covers allow you to plug in a cord while keeping the receptacle protected from the elements. In the specific case of temporary cord receptacles plugged into a watertight receptacle in an engrande box for city parties and holiday lighting, the GFCI protection provided by the watertight receptacle should be sufficient. While a while-in-use cover might seem like an added layer of protection, it is not a practical solution for a plug-and-quad receptacle, as such a product does not exist. The focus should be on ensuring that the watertight receptacle is properly installed and GFCI protected, and that the portable cord and plug are in good condition. Regular inspection of the equipment is recommended to identify any potential hazards. It is also important to educate the public about electrical safety and to discourage tampering with the equipment. By following these precautions, the city can provide safe and reliable power for its parties and holiday lighting. In summary, GFCI protection is a critical safety feature for outdoor receptacles. It protects against electrical shock by quickly shutting off the power in the event of a ground fault. The 2020 NEC requires GFCI protection for all 125-volt single-phase 15 and 20 ampere receptacles installed in outdoor locations. While-in-use covers are not available for plug-in quad receptacles, GFCI protection should be sufficient for applications such as city parties and holiday lighting. Always follow proper electrical safety practices and consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions or concerns. Remember that electrical codes and regulations can change over time. It is essential to stay up to date on the latest requirements to ensure that your electrical installations are safe and compliant. Consult with your local electrical inspector or a qualified electrician to determine the specific requirements for your area. By following these guidelines, you can help to prevent electrical accidents and ensure the safety of yourself and others. Electrical safety is everyone's responsibility, and it is important to take it seriously. By understanding the risks and taking the necessary precautions, you can help to create a safe electrical environment. The NEC published by the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA, is a comprehensive set of standards and guidelines for electrical installations. It is updated every 3 years to reflect changes in technology and best practices. The NEC is widely adopted by state and local jurisdictions throughout the United States. It is important to consult the latest edition of the NEC to ensure that your electrical installations comply with the current requirements. The NEC covers a wide range of topics, including wiring methods, overcurrent protection, grounding, and equipment installation. It also provides specific requirements for different types of occupancies, such as residential, commercial, and industrial buildings. The NEC is a valuable resource for electricians, contractors, and other professionals involved in the electrical industry. It provides the information they need to design, install, and maintain safe and reliable electrical systems. In addition to the NEC, there are other standards and guidelines that may be relevant to electrical installations. These include standards published by organizations such as UL, the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, or IEE, and the American National Standards Institute, or ANSI. It is important to be aware of these standards and guidelines and to follow them when applicable. When working with electricity, it is always best to err on the side of caution. If you are unsure about something, consult with a qualified electrician. Electricity is a powerful force, and it can be dangerous if not handled properly. By taking the necessary precautions, you can help to prevent electrical accidents and ensure the safety of yourself and others.